Okay, good morning. Welcome to the GSU Library Workshop. My name is Jason. Here, this is me. I hope that you are seeing my screen. I see somebody just joined us. Type in questions at any time or unmute yourself if you have questions at any time. Don't worry about interrupting me. Feel free to just type in or ask questions at any point. And we're a small group, so we can take detours. Really, this, as much as anything else, this is an opportunity for you to ask me questions, anything that you want to know about using the library. In particular, today's topic is going to be online library services. So I am, as you can see from my slide here, one of my titles is Online Learning Librarian. I do work at the Atlanta campus, but I work with the Perimeter College online a great deal. At the moment, I'm sitting in an office out at Dunwoody, so I do come around to different campuses. And it's really my job to make sure that people who are using the library as online students are getting the same excellent experience that you'd be getting if you were taking classes in person. So anyway, here's a little bit about our agenda today. This is kind of what I want to cover, and I'll talk through this briefly. Go ahead and, if you want to, type in chat. Just let me know what you're studying if you want to, what your major is if you have one. Are you only taking online classes? Do you have specific questions about using the library or library research that you would like for me to cover today? Just any of those things, any or all of those things. And if there's anything in particular that you'd like me to make sure and talk about today, I will do that. Okay, poli-sci, PhD student. Oh, terrific. We've got some grad students. Fantastic. Okay, that's great. One thing that I will make sure, and a nursing student. Okay, one thing that I want to make sure that you all know is that we have what are called subject librarians. I am the subject librarian for anthropology. If you don't already know this, we do have librarians who specialize in every subject area that's taught at GSU. So we have a nursing librarian, we have an college of education librarian, we have a poli-sci librarian. Like I said, among other things that I do, I'm the subject librarian for anthropology. You are more than welcome to contact me. I think I've got my email address. Here's my email address. You're more than welcome to contact me. I can put you in touch with your subject librarian if it's something that I can't answer for you. But do know that we have librarians that specialize in all of these different subject areas, and it is part of our job to support students and researchers in these particular departments. Okay, what I want to cover today, we've got at least one person who's online only. That's great. I did my master's in library science as an online student, and it's got its own set of challenges. So I hope that I've got a pretty good idea of what it is you'd like to hear about today. Everything that I'm going to talk about today, I think, will be services that you can use without ever setting foot on campus. It doesn't matter if you are in Atlanta, out of state, whatever. These are all services that you can use from on or off campus. Great. Yasmin, we will definitely talk about databases for sure. And if you've got questions as we go, please just throw them in. So I want to talk about a little bit about using the library catalog. Obviously, that'll cover things like ebooks, maybe some streaming video if there's interest in that. We will definitely talk about finding articles online, and I'll give you at least the basics, sort of a basic crash course in use of finding library databases. Just the basics of how to get articles from off campus. We probably won't go in very deep as far as search strategies are concerned, but I will get you going with the basics and what you need to know if you're using them off campus in particular. There are some services that you can use as an off-campus student, a service called Interlibrary Loan, document delivery, where if you are an online-only student, you can get articles sent to you. If you can't get them online, we can scan them and send them to you. We'll talk about where to get help online, and like I've said several times, please throw in your questions as they occur to you. Please just either type them in chat, or like I said, if you want to unmute yourself and ask a question on mic, that is totally fine. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on PowerPoint slides today. I think we'll be spending more time in the web browser and showing you some stuff actually online as you would use it. Let me talk at least briefly about the library catalog, and then we'll get into some database stuff. If you're grad students, you may be more interested in searching articles, searching databases for articles. Is anybody new, brand new to GSU? Go ahead and type that in chat. I'm just curious about that. As we go, I'm going to try to point out what I'm doing on the library website. If you need me to back up or slow down or anything, please do let me know. We've got a brand new library website. This just went online. I think it was less than a month ago. I think it was about 3 weeks ago. Our website just got completely redesigned. I'm still occasionally finding where stuff is. Okay, Esmeen, if you haven't been to GSU in 11 years, some things have definitely changed. Okay, great. That helps me to know. I want to talk briefly about the library catalog, and you can see, hopefully you can see my mouse over here on the right where it says shortcuts under hours and other things. I want to start with the library catalog. This is where you will go if you're searching for books, if you're searching for videos, documentaries, things like that. Probably most of the time books is what you'll be using this for. You will not use this for articles. That'll be the next thing that we talk about is searching for articles. But if you're looking for books, including ebooks, okay, great. All right, so we've got some GSU vets, but haven't been here in a while. All right, great. I can completely identify with that. I'm going to start us with just a simple catalog search. This is where you can search for, like I said, mostly books, also other things like documentaries, videos, things like that. Basically anything, almost anything other than articles, you'll search for in the library catalog. So if I'm searching for, let's say, I don't know, let's say we're doing some poli-sci research, and we're searching for economic policy. Can you tell I'm not a poli-sci scholar? But just to give us an idea of what we're looking for. Okay, we've got one journal that's called Economic Policy, and this is the name of the journal. This is not matching an article. It's just telling us that we have a journal called Economic Policy. But as you can see, most of what we get here is books when we search the catalog. So if I want to, a few journals here, okay. Generally speaking, mostly what you'll find in the catalog is books. Let me just limit this to a book search. And over here on the left side of the page where it says tweak my results, if you're getting too many results, I got 50,000 results here. One of the things that I can do is narrow this down by format. If I know I just want books, for example, over here under format, I can click books. There are other things that I can do here like date. Say we want only from the last 10 years. You can narrow it down by date just to give us fewer options. I won't talk through all of these. Not all journal access is online, Oslam. I'll talk about that more in a minute when we get to the database. We can get you just about anything as far as journal articles go. We don't necessarily have instant access to all of our journals online. It gets a little bit complicated because we have it from different companies and different years and so on. We do have a lot of stuff in hard copy only, but we can get just about anything. So I'll talk through some of the permutations of that in just a sec. So right now I'm looking just at books, and I'm sensing we've got a lot of interest in journals. So I'll take just a minute to this, but I do want to point out this is maybe what some or all of you will be interested in as far as the catalog search. There's this availability filter here over here, and it says available in the library and full access online. It looks like a lot of what we're getting here are going to be ebooks. So let's say I want books only. And then I can narrow it down to full access online. I'm surprised I'm getting 11,000 results still online. If I do that, everything that I get is going to be an ebook. And you can see here for the location, instead of giving me a library and a call number, a physical location, it's giving me online access. So if there's one of these that I want, just click the item. This is going to be what you're looking for if you're an online student only, or if you can't come to campus, or if you only want online sources for whatever reason. This is what you're going to be looking for, this full text available. Now, if this were a physical book, right here is where it would tell me Dunwoody campus, Atlanta campus, 5th floor, and then a call number, for example. Here I can just click on where it says full text available at and a link. A lot of library stuff is going to give me some equivalent of this. It may look a little different, depending, because we get these things from different companies and they're laid out a little different. But generally speaking, the catalog is going to have this full text available link, and you'll see something similar when we get into the databases in just a sec. So here's the ebook. I should be able to read or PDF and open it up. And of course, they're giving me an option to buy. It should, yeah, here we go. It just gives me the full text, no problem. And if I click PDF, it should give me it looks like it'll give me a downloadable PDF. Ebooks will look a little bit different from title to title, from publisher to publisher. Again, we get these from different companies, and so the details will differ a little bit. But basically, that's the main thing that I wanted to show you is this, this available in the library, or excuse me, this full text availability over here on the left side. And there's lots of different filters over here. If you are near Clarkston and you're only interested in books that we have on Clarkston campus, you can check that off. Now, we can get books sent from campus to campus. If you're near one campus and something you need is at Clarkston and you're near Dunwoody, you can get it sent over. It does take a couple of days. But we do have a lot of stuff.
Sorry. Can we save that when we pull it up, or is it something that you can only read at that moment?
When you, sorry, are you, you're asking about, let me show you what I'm talking about.
Yeah, so the book that you pulled up as well as the PDF, is that something that we can then save in a folder or no?
It looks to me like you should be able to. I think this is the same one. Let's see. Okay, so if I go, it says download PDF. Yeah, I can just download this. This is just a straight up PDF, and I can just save it to my hard drive.
Yeah.
I've got a copy there. Yep, no problem. One thing that I do want to stress is that there's frequently going to be complications and variations of how these things work. I'd say that not to scare you off, but like I said, we get different books from different publishers and so on, and sometimes they will work a little differently. If you ever have a question about how something works, or I can't get access to this, please contact us at the library. There's a couple of places, easy places you can get help. One is over here on the library website. There's this Ask Us tab. And if I fill in these blanks and put in a question and ask for help, you will get connected to an actual librarian. This is me a lot of the time. We'll get everybody in contact with your subject librarians. I can find their names if I can't remember offhand who's assigned to what subject. There's always going to be help available, and I'll talk about that too. Let's talk. If there are more questions about the catalog, we can look at that a little further. The main thing that I wanted to show you was that full access online availability. This goes for a lot of video stuff as well. Not all, but a lot of videos we've got access to. If there are further questions about the catalog, we can stick with this. Otherwise, I'm sensing that there's more interest in looking at journal articles, and I'll go ahead and jump ahead to that. Okay. We can always go back to the catalog if questions come up. since we've got some grad students here, let's you're going to be using databases a lot more. If I were teaching this to an undergrad group, I wouldn't spend as much time on databases, but I think that's going to be worth doing. So here on the library homepage, which by the way, I hope you, since you found the workshop, that's the library homepage, library.gsu.edu. Just scroll down a little bit, and we've got two ways to choose databases, by subject or by name. Now, if you know the name of the database you want, for example, if you're familiar with doing nursing research, you've done it before, and you know you want the database CINAHL, you can just jump straight to the C. It'll give you an alphabetical list, and here you go. Takes you straight to it. So that's one way you can get to it. If you know you want JSTOR or CINAHL or a particular database, you can just jump to it by name. If you're not sure what database you need, there's a subject list here. And as you can see, all of our majors and schools should be represented here. We've got a couple of education. Let's go to education. If you were a brand new education student and didn't know what database you should be using, you can just go to the education database list here. I usually send people to Eric. These are a lot of these will have a lot of these subjects will have a best bets, one or more marked here. Denise over here is our education librarian. These are the three databases that she has picked as the education best bets. Now, I know just from occasionally working with education students, Eric is usually the go-to. Education source I've not used. I don't think I've used it, at least not recently. PsycInfo is more psychology related, but has a lot of overlap with education. Say, I just want to search Eric, though. I know that one's there. So that's how you'll get to these, is just you scroll down a little bit and either pick by name if you already know the name or by subject. Most of these subjects will have the subject librarian's photo on the page. Okay, we don't have that one, poli-sci. We're changing some librarians, so I don't remember who's doing poli-sci right now. Yeah, if you don't have an expert, I think it may be a librarian that we just hired. We've got, let me see, services, librarians. Okay, so right now Laura is our department head. You can always email her and she will put you in touch with somebody. I think we may have just hired a person who's going to be covering poli-sci. So you can always email Laura and she will get you in touch with somebody who can help. We're hiring some new librarians right now. So just bear that in mind. Bear with us. All right. Let's look at searching a database here. So let's say I am interested in early childhood education, for example. Let's type in my search terms, of course. Okay. When you get to database, and by the way, if you're off campus, this is going to work the same way. It may ask you, it will ask you if you're off campus to log in with your campus ID and password, but you can get exactly the same access off campus that you can on campus. So you'll be able to get all of the articles that I'm seeing here. You can get to those off campus. The only difference is there will be a password prompt if you're off campus, and you'll see that a lot. When you're accessing library resources. The main thing to know is just start at the library homepage so that it will prompt you to log in. Okay, in a lot of cases, we've got a full text link right here. It'll say, depending on the database, it'll say either full text, got a lot of full text, full text, full text. I kind of want to find one that's not full text. May have a PDF link here. Okay, here's one. The ones above it and below it, number 16 here doesn't have a full text link. So if I wanted school gardening, easy, just click PDF and it takes me straight to it. Again, because I'm on campus, it didn't ask me to log in. If you're off campus, it will prompt you. You just use your campus ID and password. You don't need a Galileo password or anything like that. Just use your campus ID and password. Okay, no problem. I've got the PDF. This one here does not have a PDF link. Let me just click through, take a look. So this is from a journal called Urban Education. I can see it's an April 2019 issue. My guess is maybe because it's too new an article, it's just from spring. Sometimes there's a 6-month window where we don't get articles online. Could be that we just don't have an online subscription to this journal. I'm not sure. What you're going to look for is this Find It at GSU button. And what this will attempt to do is it'll check the library's holdings. It'll check to see, do we have this article in another database? Do we have an online subscription to Urban Education? Maybe the ERIC database that I'm searching just doesn't include that in our subscription to ERIC, but maybe we've got a subscription to it another way. All I need to do is click Find It at GSU. Hopefully we have it. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. Here we go. We're in luck. Again, full text available at, this is what I'm looking for, is this link. And it should take me probably straight to the article. If you ever see that, I don't know if you saw it on my screen real quickly up at in the tab, it said Open Athens. That's our system that we use to verify you as a student. So if you ever see an Open Athens login, that's what that is. That's just the name of the software. Okay, download PDF, and I'm in. A lot of the time, you will be able to get articles that way. So one thing that you should know is when I'm searching a database, there's an option to limit to linked full text. I recommend never using that. What that does is it shows you only these articles that have a full text link or PDF link, which is most of these for the search that I did. But it would eliminate this one. And we do have the article, it just takes a couple of extra clicks. So I recommend don't use that linked full text. There are other options to get these articles. Sometimes you'll click through that Find It at GSU, and instead of full text available, sometimes you'll see a link that says no full text available, something like that. You'll see text there that says, sorry, we don't have access to this, basically. It says no, full text is not available. You can get these articles in other ways. We have a system called Interlibrary Loan that you can use. I'll show you briefly how to use that later on, but just know that if there's an article that you really need, we can get it for you from another library. It does not cost you anything, and it's usually very quick. So I'll show you in a few minutes, I'll show you how that works. But there will be, if there's no full text, just know that there are other options. It's usually quick. It won't cost you anything. So don't just give up on it if there's an article that we don't have. Other questions so far? Keep them coming. Type them in as we go, or pop on mic like Rebecca did. That's no problem at all. Please feel free to do that. Okay. I'm going to keep going. If there's other things that you want to know about databases, just remember we've got many different databases. We have, I think it's 400 plus, 400 or 500. Okay, so almost 400. I was a little off. You can narrow these down by subject here. This is the same list that you'll get from the library homepage just by jumping to the subject here. So those are the ways that you can get to it. If you're ever not sure what database you should be using, you can always get in touch with us at the reference desk or get in touch with your subject library. There is also this Discover search here. Now, you all are grad students, nursing students. It sounds like maybe you've got a little bit of experience researching your subject areas already. This is usually something that I recommend more to undergrad students. What this Discover search does is it gives you a search place. Sorry, I'm trying to say it gives you a place to search if you're not sure where to start. This searches 90-something% of our online journals all in one place. It doesn't search everything we've got, but it searches a lot of things that we've got. So I can do a search like, I don't know, I search immigration policy. I'm going to get way, 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 way more results than if I search just a poli-sci database. What I'm going to get here is it searches the catalog, so I'm going to get books. GilFind is the name of our catalog. As you can see, I've got some physical books here. It says it's at Dunwoody, where I am right now. This one's at Clarkston. It's going to give you articles, and I could limit this just to journal articles if I want over here on the left side of the page. I can do a lot of the same things. I can limit by date. I can limit by type of source, and so on. But notice I got almost 2 million results. So this is a hugely general kind of search. One thing that I do find it useful for is if I have the name of an article, but I'm not sure what database might have it, this is often a good place to search. So if I had this article title, for example, let's see if it'll let me copy. If I had this citation and I just had on paper and I just had the article title, this Discover search is usually where I'll go first. I'll just paste in an article title if I'm not sure where to get it. And a lot of the time, it will take me straight to it. So it's handy for that. And here we go. Here's a full text link. So there are a lot of, we've got a lot of different search tools, and they're useful for different kinds of things. I think more for undergrads who aren't sure where to start, this Discover search is useful for that. But like I said, I use it a lot of the time too. If I've got a citation, I'm not sure where to find it. It's like that.
Where's the best place to search for a DOI?
Good question. If you've got a DOI, if you don't know, that's a digital object identifier. I think that you could just paste a DOI in there. Let me see if I've got one that I can try it with.
Yeah, I tried that this weekend, and well, it wasn't very successful. I don't know if it was user error or
Okay.
or a problem.
If you're not familiar with DOIs, this is a number that that you'll see that articles will have a unique number assigned to them, and I'm looking for one. Let me see. Let me just pull one off Google that I can use as an example. Okay, so right here, this is what a DOI looks like if you haven't used one. And it will often say DOI colon, and then it will have a number after it, and this is assigned to this specific article, or I'm not sure what earthquake event is. Interesting. Let me just take this one because this is a journal article. Honestly, what I do a lot of the time if I've got a DOI is I'll just paste it into a Google search, get the article title. So here's our article title. I just paste the search into Google, paste the DOI into Google, get the article title, and then I'll go over to the library and paste in the article title. There may be a more elegant way to do it than that. And I noticed this didn't find exactly the right thing. So, but this would at least give me the full citation. I know that this is in Nature Physics. I feel like there's got to be a better system for doing that. That's what I do most of the time. It's rare that I have a DOI and I don't have the citation to go with it. I tend to search more by article title. If you've got a specific case where you're having trouble finding something by DOI, get in touch with us and we can help you out with that. I don't know that that's a great answer, but that's how I do it anyway. Yeah, sure. Let me talk a little bit about finding videos online. I mentioned that you can go to the library catalog, you can go to Discover, and you can find videos that way. Let me just stick with this same, well, let's do let's do something nursing related. Let's do say I'm doing a nursing search. One thing that I can do when I limit by source type, I think this will give me, is I can limit to videos. We will have some videos, documentaries, things like that online. And let me see if I can do this in here. Yeah, okay, so for example, some of these are going to be online, some of these are not. This one doesn't say. Okay, this is an actual VHS tape, I think, but, and this might have worked better in the catalog than in the Discover search. In some cases, I can actually get to these online. We've got a few different, a handful of online databases that include videos. A lot of them are documentaries. We do have some feature films. Films on demand is one of our big ones here, and this is going to be, I think this one is going to be mostly documentaries, but I can mute it. I don't think it will come through to you, but let me just mute it. I can actually watch the whole video here. Notice it's got a transcript as well. This is just a short video clip. This is just a minute and a half. We do have full-length videos. The other video databases that we've got, one is called Canopy. That's mostly documentaries. The other one is called Swank. All of these are, you don't really have to remember those names unless you want to. You can go straight to the database. I could go straight into Films on Demand and search from here if I want to. But I can also just search the library catalog. Documentaries for your own research, for if you are teaching a class, if you are just interested and want to watch stuff. So all of these are listed in the library catalog. So I can just go either to Discover, or I think it works a little better if I go to the catalog and search from there. But I'll find these same videos either place. And instead of limiting to books, I can go visual and full access online. This is going to give me, and you see these all say online access, this is going to give me videos from Films on Demand. I'll type these titles in case anybody's interested. Films on Demand, Swank, and what's the other one? Canopy. You can either find these, they're in the database list, or like I did here, you can just type in your topic terms into the catalog and then limit to video and online, or visual and online, I think is how the catalog has it listed. And we've got plenty of stuff. It's hard for us to buy additional videos sometimes because we get them in packages, but if you're ever looking for something on a topic and you're not sure, just check with us. Let me talk some more about where to get help. We've talked about finding your subject librarian. I want to show you a few places that you can get help. I mentioned over here on the library homepage, there's this Ask Us tab. Again, just to reiterate that you can put your name in or not as you wish. It helps us to know that you're a GSU student just because we know what you've got access to. And you don't have to say your campus, but if you want to tell us a campus that you are affiliated with. If you're online only, we don't have a choice for that. That actually should add that. And just type your question in here. That will get you to a live librarian during business hours anyway. You can also leave a message if we're offline. It will give you a chance to search. We've got this sort of knowledge base that we call help and answers. You can search for, how do I find scholarly articles, what are library hours, things like that. Etc. We've got a lot of commonly ask questions in here. Some video tutorials, etc. So there's plenty of help there. But you can also, if you don't find the answer to your question, you can leave us a message down here. It says submit your question, and that will get to a librarian the next business day. We have a service called Research Guides. This is the homepage. For that, you can actually get to this on, I'm not sure where they've moved it to from the library homepage. They may have made this trickier to get to from the library homepage. It's help and answers. Sorry, things have moved around, like I said. There we go, Research Guides. It's under Research. You can get a lot of librarians' contact info from here. Like I said, most of the subject areas, here's Anthro, which I do, have a quote-unquote subject expert, that's the subject librarian, assigned to it. We've got a lot of sort of general subject area research information here. So on my Anthro guide, I've got Anthro Plus marked for my anthropology students as, this is probably where you want to start. We've also got a number of specific guides for individual courses. If a professor asks me to make a guide for their course, I will I'll put it up, make them a course guide, and put it up online. I also want to just mention that as the online librarian, I've made this guide, and here's the URL for it. This is kind of designed with undergrads in mind, but I think especially if you're new to GSU, there's a lot of really good info here about, some of the stuff we're covering today. Here's a basic search tutorial. How do I find my librarian? Here's the campus list. If you're Atlanta, it'll give you a list of the subject librarians. I've got, some of the basic stuff that we've covered today about finding articles online. This is more basic databases that undergrads are looking for, but things like ebooks, streaming video, some of the other stuff that we've covered today. We do have, well, I was about to tell you we have online workshops. I guess you know that already, but I've got a list of the online workshops listed here on my guide here, and our past workshops. We archive these on our YouTube channel as well. So just to let you know that these guides are here, this list of workshops is all here. And I think I've mentioned all the ways that you can contact us. Do feel free to get in touch, though, just by calling as well if you ever need to. We've got the numbers of the various campus libraries here. This will just ring the main, and I know at Atlanta campus anyway, where I work most of the time, that'll just get you to the main service desk, and if you need a reference librarian or somebody in particular, they can transfer you. So there's lots of ways that you can get help without having to come to campus. A few other things that I want to mention just as far as services that are available to you. I think all of these things are under the Services and Spaces menu on the homepage here. One thing in particular I kind of glossed over that I said we would revisit is Interlibrary Loan. I don't know if you've used this before, but this is really useful in a number of ways for online students in particular. As it says here, this will get you access to books, articles, other things that we don't have. I don't think we will actually ship books to you, but we can get, basically, if there's an article or a book that you need, we can request it from another library. It costs you nothing. There will be links to the Interlibrary Loan service if you are ever searching for a journal article and you find a citation, but we don't have access to the article. There will be an Interlibrary Loan link there. And here's what it looks like when you log in to request something. Let's log in with your campus ID. And I don't have any requests right now, but most of the time when I use ILL, it's for journal articles. But you can see we can get other things, books and book chapters as well. If I want an article, for example, all I do is log in, fill in the blanks here, the title of the journal, the volume and issue number, and so on. All of this info, the author, if I've got it, the article title. And this is an amazingly fast service. I usually tell people expect it to take 1 or 2 days, but I have had articles arrive within a few hours. Once in a while, I'll request an article in the morning and I go to lunch and I come back and it's waiting in my inbox. And what they will actually do is they will scan the article or get a scan from another library. And when you log back into the Interlibrary Loan system, or rather you'll get an email that links back to this, and then when you log back in, it will just have a PDF for you right there. You can do this for book chapters if there is a chapter that you need that we don't have. I don't think we can do it with books. I mean, we can get books, but you have to come and physically pick them up. We can't usually get ebooks from other libraries. But if you are near enough to a campus that you can come pick up a book, you can just specify what campus you want to pick it up. I put my contact info in. I choose a campus here, and so you can choose what campus that you want to pick it up at. So if you are near enough to drive to a campus, you can get books this way as well. Now, if you are an online-only student, this is a relatively new thing that we've just added for online-only students. If there is an article that we need that we only have it in print, it's only available on the shelves in the collection, but we do have it, you can still request it by Interlibrary Loan and just put in the request that you're an online-only student, and they will pull it off the shelf, they'll scan it, and they'll get it to you in the Interlibrary Loan system. So just be aware, if you're an online-only student, you can even get articles that we physically have this way. For most people, it's articles that we don't have. But if you are only an online student, then you can get articles that we do own this way. I hope that made sense. If you are far from campus, but you have a public library, they also have their own version of Interlibrary Loan. So check with your public libraries if you're not close to a GSU campus. But we're always happy to do whatever we can to get you these materials that way. And also, I'll just mention that if you're a GSU student, you can use any GSU campus library. It doesn't matter what campus you're taking classes on, or if you're an online-only student. If you're near a GSU campus, you can use that campus's library. We can have books sent between campuses in GillFind in the library catalog. Show you just briefly how that would work. And let me find a book here. Okay, if I want this book, you'll see that finishes loading. Atlanta campus has the only copy of that. If I were out at Dunwoody campus and wanted it sent over, I can have that done. All I do is sign in, and then there's a request button. And again, I just sign in with my campus ID and password. Oh, this computer remembered my password since I've signed in previously. But all I would have to do is click request, and then there's a little form, and I just tell it which campus I want it sent to. Costs nothing. It's all part of the service. That is most of what I wanted to show you today. We have about 10 minutes left. So please hit me with any other questions that you've got, either by voice or in chat. Either way is fine. You can request books from Emory and other places. If you use the Interlibrary Loan, the nice thing about Interlibrary Loan is if there's a book you need that we don't have, You don't need to know, does Emory have it, does Georgia Tech have it, etc. You can just request, sorry, I'm getting texts from my mom in Florida. You don't need to know what library owns it. All you need to know is this is the title, this is the author, this is the book I need, and they will find it. They will find the book at another library and have it sent over. You can actually check out books from Emory, by the way. If you're near Emory, you can just go in and use their library with your GSU card. You've got we have an agreement with them, so you can do that. Yasmin, we will. I am recording the webinar. I think you will get a copy automatically. Maybe, maybe not, actually. If you want a copy of the recording, email me, jpuckett@gsu.edu. I'm going to put it on our YouTube channel as well, but I'm happy to send you the recording, yes, of course. Carolyn, I see that you joined us just a couple of minutes ago, right for the very end. I'm happy to hang around for a few minutes and answer any questions that you've got, or you've got my email address there. If you want to email me for help, I'm happy to do that as well. Other questions? I brought up this online students guide here. I'll paste the URL in again. That's got a lot of the stuff that we covered today. It's got links to Interlibrary Loan. It's got, you know, some basic instructions for database searching and so on. I'll give you a minute to type in any questions, but if there are no further questions, then I'll adjourn in just a moment. Going once, going twice. You do not have to use VPN for off-campus access. You can. If you want to, you can, and that will work just fine. Sign in is usually enough. Yasmin, I just pasted the online student guide into the chat, so just scroll up a little bit, and it's also up here on my screen. Yeah, so you can just use the off-campus sign-in. VPN will also work, so that's an option as well. Thank you all so much for coming. Follow up with me. Just drop me an email if you have questions, or here's another instance of that chat box. Be aware that the chat box is on the library homepage. You'll just have to click the little blue button on the side to slide it out, and you'll get an actual live librarian that way as well. Thank you all so much for coming. Yeah, email me if you want a copy of the recording. Email me if you have questions. Thanks so much. We will go ahead and adjourn. I will stop the recording. Everybody have a great day.